Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is a makeup inspired by Beyoncé's video Haunted, and I hope you enjoy it. The first thing I'm starting with is Kevyn Aucoin's Sensual Skin Enhancer in SX9. I applied this with a brush and partly blended it in before perfecting it with the Beauty Blender. This works perfectly for working this foundation into the skin. Next, I use the corrector palette from Graftobian and mix the salmon and banana shade together and use that to conceal my under eyes as well as highlight my chin, upper lip, forehead, and lastly underneath the lips, which will help to make my lips appear fuller when I'm doing lipstick. To set the face, I used Makeup Forever Pro Finish Powder, and because I used a lot of creams, I wanted to make sure it was set completely and wasn't going anywhere, so I used a pretty heavy-duty powder. For brows, I kept them light and not too defined using Bobbi Brown's Brunette Pencil. I lightly filled in anywhere that the hairs were sparse and blended them in to appear soft. After they were blended out, I used a brow gel from Maybelline to smooth them out and make sure the hairs were all going in the same direction. I used this powder foundation from Cinema Secrets for my contour. Beyoncé has beautiful skin in the video and it has everything to do with how her face was highlighted and contoured. Normally, I wouldn't use a powder foundation on top of a liquid foundation because it's usually too heavy, but for the sake of this video makeup and getting flawless skin, I thought I would show you how to get the look. I used it to sculpt the contours of my face, including the cheekbones, top of the forehead, temples, jawline, and nose. Moving on to highlight, I used the same technique except I used a powder a couple shades lighter than my face. With using this powder, it allowed me to highlight my face while still achieving the matte look I wanted, and this is another Cinema Secrets powder foundation. I used this on all of the high points of the face, including the cheekbones of course, forehead, bridge of the nose, under my cheek contour, and around the mouth. For blush, I used a light application of NYX Mauve Blush and applied it with a fan brush to the apples of the cheeks and back up towards my temples, and I wanted to keep the color very soft for this look. For my eyeshadow base, I used Makeup Forever Aqua Black, which worked perfectly before using my shadows. It is a cream eyeshadow base, and I applied a very light amount to the lid and dragged what was left on my brush out to a cat eye shape. I also applied this to my lower lash line with whatever was left on my brush. For eyeshadow, I used MAC's Deep Truth, which is a beautiful blue shade, followed on top of where I applied my base. I started with less color and added slowly because there's nothing worse than working with blue hues and having too much color on all at once. I kept making sure to apply the color and blend after every application. I also applied the shadow to my lower lash line. I thought this powder foundation would make an amazing highlight under my brow, and it totally did. I applied this with a blending brush and then followed with MAC's Black Tide eyeshadow. I used this black shadow to darken up the outer edges and add some definition to the eyes. Same idea with this, add black, blend. Add more, blend some more. I also traced this down onto my lower lash line, making sure to keep majority of the color to the outer edge. To line both my lower and upper waterline, I used Stila's smudge stick in Stingray. I give my lashes a quick curl before applying L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black Mascara, and I didn't apply lashes because in the video she appears to have a very natural lash. Possibly individuals were added to make that look. And for lips, I used Kevyn Aucoin lip liner in neutral. I started on the bottom and traced just outside my natural lip to make them appear bigger. Then I filled them in to darken them up. For the top lip, I followed the same idea and lined just outside the natural lip. It helps if you almost tip your head back because then you can fit your pencil just underneath your lip to help draw a perfect line. To finish, I joined the lines together and went with a pointed Cupid's bow. For lipstick, I used a shade called Vampire Kiss from the Eve Pearl Pro Lip Palette. I started off by filling in the lips and getting a color to work with. I decided this wasn't good enough on its own and needed to be darkened up, so I used the black shade from the Makeup Forever Flash Palette. I applied this to the outer edges of the lips and blended it in towards the center and eventually reached the shade I wanted. For one last finishing detail, I added Kevyn Aucoin Candlelight Highlighter to the inner part of the eyes and just on top of the blue in the center. And that is the completed Beyoncé inspired makeup. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thanks so much for watching everyone, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.